All right, so I'll start explaining here. Today is a right-left circuit. So what you'll find is the movements all kind of flow into one another. And so you'll do all of them with the weight in your right hand and then all of them with the weight in your left hand. So we're going to put a 3-minute timer on that. And yeah, so you have 3 minutes to finish both sides. And then whatever's left, you'll have a little bit of remainder there. Whatever's remaining is rest. And so now that everybody's on, let me put it in the chat. So the way this works is you're going to do 2 get-ups, 2 full Turkish get-ups. Now, it's really 1.5 because you're going to stay standing, so you won't go back down on the second one. You're going to stay standing. So if you think like 2 Turkish get-ups, you're at the top. So after you've gotten up on the last one, the weight's here. Then we go right into a shoulder press for 6. And on your last shoulder press, you're going to keep the weight right here. So if you have a kettlebell, that's best usually. If you have a dumbbell, that's okay too, that'll work. But use a weight that you can shoulder press 6 times. That's kind of the limiting factor. So after the last shoulder press, you're going to stay here and you're going to lunge back with that leg. So it's a reverse lunge. Then we drop the weight down for a row and an SLDL. So kind of as usual, not a lot of super crazy different movements here, but it is just a different way to throw them all together. So right after you're done with the row and the SLDL, you'll go back down to the floor and do 2 Turkish get-ups, well, 1.5, and start it with the other hand. Okay, so we'll talk our way through it here. Like I said, it is a timed circuit, so you've got 3 minutes to finish both sides. I did it this morning and it took about, I don't know, 1 minute and 15 seconds to finish one side. So I figure we'll have about 30 seconds of rest in there. Okay, so if you have a weight lying around that you can shoulder press for 6, that's the weight you're going to use. And we'll go ahead and get rolling here. So grab a foam roller or just a tennis ball or hand, your hand, whatever you got around. And we'll just start off on the back of your legs, nice and simple. If you're interested, again, tomorrow night, I'll put an email out today, but tomorrow night, 5:30, we have a guest coach named Pam Lindbergh coming in to do a yoga class for us. So she's got kind of a cool style, I think, and it'll be good thing to expose you to. Just a little bit of flexibility, nice, easier workout for the day. Again, I think that changing the intensity is really important right now. So not just always being high intensity, but just mixing it up and just making sure that you're getting different kinds of movement and all that. So I'm rolling the back of my legs here, so let's move it on up. The roller's going to be between your knees and your butt. As you're doing this, if you have the roller, as you're doing this, try to do a little bit of cross friction. So not only am I rolling back and forth, but I'm also moving my feet in and out. So you're kind of rolling those muscle compartments around over each other. It's a little bit like patting your head and rubbing your belly, but if you can pull it off, it's good to get the muscles moving that way. Let's go ahead and cross the ankle over. Rolling your hips here. I've said this before, this is kind of where everything goes through. So this is probably the most important area to roll. You know, if you think of all the train tracks coming into a hub, your core, really your hips are that hub. So everything goes through your hips, which is that's why sometimes left knee pain can be caused from right shoulder stuff. And so everything kind of goes through the middle here and crosses over in the middle. So it's really important to make sure that all of this is functioning well, rolled out Feeling good, loosey-goosey before we get started. We're rolling the other side now, so if you haven't switched, go ahead and switch. Good, let's stay on whatever side you're on right now. We're gonna roll over to this side, rolling to that side, rolling the space right by your pocket, right in between your hip bone and the crest of your hip. Okay, a couple rolls there. We're gonna roll all the way over. So we kind of touch on your low back here, right over top of your sacrum. And then we keep rolling off to the other side. And good, let's go ahead and sit in front of the roller. Moving the roller back to your shoulder blades. Pick the hips up. You can do what you want with your arms, either up overhead. Give yourself a hug, whatever you need. It's always nice to get a couple of back cracks out of this if you got them. All right, we'll do everybody's least favorite, usually. So we're gonna raise one arm up. So I'm raising my left arm. I'm gonna leave my hips on the floor and roll over to my left side here. So there's a big flat muscle that goes down the outside, kind of the outside back of your ribs. So I'm just gonna roll back and forth. You can move your body back and forth by turning, or you can do little mini rolls. Okay, wherever you feel like you're able to move that muscle around. If you feel like your shoulder blade is getting pushed around, you're probably a little bit too far into your armpit. So we should be well below your armpit here. Switch to the other side. Raising that arm up. I guess you can pick your hips up here, but it just adds a lot more pressure. And good. Let's take your roller. If you don't have a roller, that's okay. You can do this on the floor as well, but we're gonna take your roller, sit on the very edge of it, and let it go right down your spine as you lay back. So obviously, if you don't have a roller, you can just lay on the floor. But we're gonna do just opening up here, and we'll do a little bit of a snow angel. So the top half of your body is gonna do a snow angel. If you're up on the roller, you'll get a little bit more stretch because your hands can go, past parallel. If you don't have a roller, that's okay too. Still good to go through the motion there. All right, let's go to make the letter Y with your arms, and then we're sliding down into the letter W, trying to keep your forearms parallel to the floor here. So we don't want elbows high and hands low, or elbows low towards the ground and your hands up in the air. We want to try to keep your forearms parallel to the floor. Sliding up and down, let's go for 12. Check in with your low back. Make sure you're not arching too far off of the roller. It's okay to be a little bit off the roller, but we don't want to be arching like sky high there. And good. So come on off the roller. We're going to come to one knee. So getting nice and tall just for a hip flexor stretch here. Tuck your tailbone down. So as you push forward into this stretch, you shouldn't be extending your low back or arching your low back. You want to keep your belly strong, tailbone pointing down. And that should give you a stretch without having to get too far forward into this. And let's go ahead and take your hands, go right to the floor. So stay on that same knee. Take your hands to the floor. And we should be getting a stretch under your front leg and on the front of your back leg. So really pushing your hips down towards the floor here, pushing your chest away from the floor. You can also use your roller. So if your roller's handy, use that roller to push your chest up away from the floor and really focus on the hip stretch. Keeping your hands on the roller or on the floor, you're going to straighten that front leg. Let your heel drop down to the floor. Just going to hold this stretch. Getting a good stretch under their front leg here, down your hamstring. And then also think about that calf stretch as well in the back. And good, back to the floor. We'll start on the other side. So we'll go hip flexor stretch first, just getting nice and tall, tucking that tailbone down. Let's go hands to the floor or hands to your roller. Really try to sink those hips down to the floor while you're pushing your chest away from the floor. Good, straighten your front leg, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. Let that back heel drop down. We're also getting a stretch under your front leg. And good, one more stretch from this position. Just gonna bring this leg up in front of you for a pigeon stretch. So we come up and across your body. Should be stretching the outside of your hip here. If you need more stretch, you can move your foot forward so your shin is more parallel to your body, or sorry, perpendicular to your body. Or you may get more of a stretch if you take your elbows to the floor. Switch it up. And good. Let's go all fours, sitting back onto your heels, right? So I'm sitting back here. Try to keep your butt right where it is on your heels. You're gonna take one hand, put it behind your head. Don't let yourself pull your head forward for this. So we wanna stay nice and long through the spine. We're gonna open up towards the ceiling, try to point your elbow up at the ceiling, and then back down, close your shoulders. And we open, close, open. We'll do 6 on one side, then switch to the other. Okay, so it looks like we're wrapping up with that. Standing up now, we're just gonna do some alternating lateral lunges just to kind of get our hips opened up and moving here. Just like always, we're gonna take this at whatever you need. So if you need a deeper lunge, take a deeper lunge. If you need less of a lunge right now, you can do less of a lunge. We're just alternating sides. Feeling that stretch, feeling that warm up. Making sure even in warm up here, as you sit your hips back, or you're gonna be sitting your hips back, making sure your foot stays flat on the floor. Good. Let's do SLDL. So you're going to be on one foot. You're going to take your hands and reach forward. In my case, I'm trying to touch my heel to the wall behind me and try to touch my fingertips to the wall in front of me. All right. So let's alternate those since we are warming up. So we reach, step to the other leg and reach. And let's do 6 each side. Really think at the, when you're reaching the farthest, you should feel like Superman flying over the city. So about 2 more each side. And good. Okay. So we're going to go through we're going to go through 4 of these 3-minute circuits. Within the 3 minutes, we're doing 2 Turkish get-ups, 6 shoulder presses, 6 reverse lunges. Okay, it's actually a weighter reverse lunge because you're going to keep the weight up here. And the thing is, guys, if this isn't working for you, like if you have a kettlebell, they kind of sit nice and comfortable in here. If you don't have a kettlebell and you're using a dumbbell, you may need to drop it down to your side just for logistics. That's okay. But the whole goal of this is it's kind of a 1 kettlebell circuit, but the whole goal is to get it to flow from one to the next, right? So we're going to do 2 get-ups, 6 shoulder presses, 6 reverse lunges, 6 rows. So you'll set this foot back, pulling your elbow up to the ceiling, and finally 6 SLDL, and then switch sides, go back to the floor, and start that again. Okay, so as I'm going through it, I'll kind of talk you through it. If you're ahead of me, that's totally fine. If you're behind me, that's okay too. But we've got 3 minutes to get both sides done. Whatever's left is your rest. Okay, so use whatever weight you need. If some things are weighted and some things are not, that's also okay, but the whole circuit is made to be done with 1 kettlebell. Okay, so Turkish get-up. Remember, if you're not doing full get-ups, that's okay. We can do as much of the get-up as you can. I think this is a pretty veteran crowd here with us this morning. Do as much of the get-up as you can, and then just end up with the shoulder press at the top. Okay, so we're going to start off with 1.5 Turkish get-ups. So we're getting up doing 1 full one, and then getting up 1 more time. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes to do each side. Get ready for 1 Turkish get-up. Should be on the floor. Ready, and here we go. Remember, whatever hand is in the air, that knee is going to be up. Standing after your last get up turns into a shoulder press for 6. Keeping that weight at shoulder height if you can. Stepping back for a reverse lunge. After that reverse lunge, the weight comes down to your side. Stepping 1 foot back, and we're rowing. Last one, keep the weight on your side for 6 SLDL. So the numbers are really easy here. Good, so once you finish that 6 SLDL, go back to the floor. Start on the other side. Now the weight's in your other hand. After the get up, we shoulder press for 6. When you do your reverse lunges, whatever side the weight is on, that side will step back. After your reverse lunge, drop that weight down for the row. After the row, we got SLDL. About 30 seconds left in that 3 minutes. I am going to add 30 seconds of rest in between each set here. So I don't want to have to rush through things. I don't want you guys to have to rush through things and sacrifice just for the time. So I'm going to add 30 seconds here. Okay. So we're getting back to the first Turkish get up here. So let's go ahead and pick a spot on the floor. Getting into round 2. Ted's already getting up. All right. So second round of 4. Ready? And here we go. Starting off with those Turkish get-ups, doing 1.5 each side. If you think of it, try to start with the opposite hand that you did last time. Reverse lunges after the shoulder press. Let me go to the row. And SLDL. After your SLDL, we're back down to the floor. Shoulder press. Bring it to the shoulder for weight or reverse lunge, or you can drop it down and hold it low. Kind of depends on your equipment. Rows and SLDL to finish up. Again, depending on your level, you don't have to use the kettlebell for everything. Or if you feel like you can go a little bit heavier on like the reverse lunge, versus the shoulder press, then feel free to make those adjustments. It just takes a little bit of time to change the weight. So we got 30 seconds to rest here before we get into the next one. One thing I should mention too, if you want to go like your last set of SLDLs, so if this is your first side, you can then just switch hands and go through backwards and end with the Turkish get up, just to save some time and transition time and stuff. I like to get the get ups out of the way first because it's the most dangerous, where you're holding the weight over your head. If you do that when you're tired, it could be bad news. All right, we're getting up again. Ready? And here we go. Whatever side that weight is on for the reverse lunges, stepping backwards. I'm going to try going backwards, back down, just to see how it feels. So I'll go SLDL, then the row, lunge, shoulder press, get up. That's too much thinking right now. Just go back to the beginning. Well, it didn't save me too much time. All right, good job, everybody. So we've got one more set left. Quick and painful this morning, 20 seconds. I'm going to disappear for just a second. I got to grab the notebook to grab everybody's attendance. We're going to go in 10 seconds. Remember, alter the weight as you need to. 3, 2, 1. Here we go, starting with the get-ups. Awesome job, guys. A minute 45 left. Everybody's looking good. Steve and Carol, I can only guess that you're looking really good right now. Keep it up. Good morning, Jen. I didn't see you pop on. Hope you're feeling good. Okay, last minute here, guys. Last minute, make sure the last bit of this is really good form. Remember, this is going to be it today. Thirty seconds left. I'm seeing some get-ups. Are those ending get-ups or beginning get-ups? Okay. All right. Nice work, guys. 10 seconds left. 7, 3, 2, 1, and that's it. All right. There's 30 seconds to hang out. We'll take a minute here just to sit and relax a sec. Remember, the whole goal of that is just to flip that switch. So we just bring your breathing back down to where you're controlling it. Getting it back to the point where you can kind of sync your breaths with your heartbeat. Okay, so we'll take 30 seconds here. Let your breath come down. So just have a seat or lay down, however you want to do it. For me, I'm just going to lay down on the floor, knees bent, hands on my belly. This is going to take about 2 minutes. If you got to go, you got to go. Have an awesome day. I've got everybody's names down, so you're good to go. But if you want to take just a second here to cool down or to switch gears, this can help. So we've just got our hands on our belly. Take a nice deep breath in. As you take that breath in, your hands should be rising. Try to keep your chest from expanding too much. Okay, so if it helps you to have a hand on the chest and a hand on your belly, as you take that breath in, you should feel your belly hand rising. Okay, the last 3 breaths lying on the floor here. Let's take a nice, as deep a breath as you can take in without expanding your chest. And let it exhale. As you get to the end, you're going to force more of an exhale. Blow all the air out of your lungs. Then we take that next deep breath. Remember, your belly should be rising, not your chest. Third breath, letting yourself exhale. Blow it all out at the bottom. And good. Go ahead and sit up. So we're just going to be seated. You can sit however it's comfortable for you. Just make sure you can sit tall, right? If we're trying to fill our belly with air and you're sitting rounded over like this, okay, you can imagine it would be harder to do that. So we want to be sitting nice and tall, sitting right up on top of your butt bones. Shoulders should be back. Still filling your belly with air. Now we try to match the breath with your heartbeat. So if you can take a deep breath in for somewhere between 4 and 6 beats. If your heart's still going really fast, it may be more like 8 beats. And then exhale for the same number. Let's take 5 of those breaths, and we'll call it a day. Remember, if you need a little help from your fingertips or your hands to sit tall, that's okay too. Let's take one more breath. And exhale. Okay. Well, again, that's all we got for today. Remember, tomorrow evening, 5:30, Pam Lundberg is going to be leading a yoga class for us. If you have a chance to tune in, that would be awesome. We're going to also record it and have it for you. But, just exposing you to new stuff. Hopefully, I don't know, it's a good way to kind of explore and see what you can do and see how you feel and do different things. So hope you guys have an awesome day. And as always, shoot at me any questions, any comments, any suggestions. I love all that stuff at this point. So, all right, guys, have a great day.